I just don't see how anybody can root for a guy who has the morality that he has. I mean, I can understand if people make mistakes, they got something wrong with them. At least admit you have that problem and try to get better. He's taking no responsibility, no accountability. And as a Browns fan, I just can't root for him. I just can't do it, Rich.
Well, I appreciate you calling and kind of pouring your heart out like that, man.
Yeah.
You know, I hear you. And, you know, a suspension, I truly believe, and thanks for the call, John, is coming. And if it arrives, those are the words I need to hear Deshaun Watson say. I take responsibility for what happened, and I need to go somewhere and work on myself and really dive into what's going on. But like I said, so far he has not at all said a single syllable into a microphone to date, whether it was his introductory press conference or the press conference held last week, to say anything remotely close to satisfactory in helping me understand what's going on in his mind and his world and his life and how he conducted himself. And one of the lawsuits that still is outstanding was filed, the first one filed, and she was left crying by the experience. There's something up when that happens.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what else to make of it other than the fact that Browns fans who tweet at us whenever this is happening, the conversations that we've had, and we've gone all in on the subject matter. I find it very important to discuss, and I'm not going to duck it. So,
Rich,
a lot of Browns fans have been defending him in that regard, and I think it's indefensible. I don't know how anybody, and I know that you want to root for him, and you're hoping he scores a bunch of touchdowns, and he's gonna. I mean, he's going to serve a suspension. He's going to come back. It's going to happen, unless he's criminally charged. Then that would be a totally different ball of wax, wouldn't it? You're about to say something, TJ?
well, you know, not to put the Watson stuff aside, just getting back to what the caller said, and I understand having issues with Watson, but also I think, you know, sometimes it's human nature. We kind of look at the negative of things. You got to remember, the NFL, there were a lot of great men in the NFL who do a lot of great things for the community, for, you know, and just look at the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, how that's taken over pretty much from the MVP. So I'm saying, I realize that this is a red mark, so to speak, on the NFL, but there are so many other people in this league that are doing amazing and great things. And I know right now we're concentrating on this bad thing, and it is bad, but I wouldn't allow myself to, and I get what he's saying, but like I said, there's a lot of good going on in this league too.
I'm glad you said that. If I said it, I might be prone to hear that I'm an NFL guy, that I'm an employee, I'm a stooge or anything like that. And I'm very, you know, obviously sensitive to being called such.
Absolutely, yeah.
So because I have taken in, next year is going to be 20 years for me on NFL Network, 20. And ever since I started in that job, I have been moved by the players that I've met, and I've taken it as a responsibility in my job to make sure that their activities in the community, to show what a pillar they are within the community and what good fathers and husbands and community-minded people they are, and make sure that that is out there when an outlier occurs, that we don't hear a statement like the one that we just said, where I'm so sick of Deshaun Watson, I'm tapping out of the entire NFL. And it is my pleasure and honor to talk about that. And that's why I'm so mystified when I hear people who have been involved in the NFL, whether in coaching or in the media, who, despite being around players and seeing who they are and what they're about, and also the plights that many of them have fought through and still feel today based on who they are, their upbringing, the color of their skin, say things that betrays how they haven't picked up a single thing from covering the players or coaching the players. Haven't picked up a single aspect of their upbringing, their world, their beliefs. And it's just like, how have you not picked up on it? How have you not learned from it? How have you not become empathetic or sympathetic to it? So, kind of does touch on a nerve right there. And again, I know the Players Association needs to be there and defend all of their members of the union. But when you're reading about this and you're seeing about this, that, hey, if the suspension comes in significant, we're going to start talking about the owners and what you've done for them. And that is a viable statement. I understand from their point of view. But based on everything that I've read, there should be a significant suspension coming. And hopefully that will give a cue to a listener and a viewer like our friend, I believe John just called in with right there. To not tap out, not give up. I mean, Dak is a perfect example of being a shining, guiding light. Calais Campbell, Andrew Whitworth. We could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
And many of the players who do have that standing in the community should feel outraged when they see behavior like this on display. And support a punishment, quite frankly, that I think is due and should be coming.